about Inanna.
Inanna, Alejandro will present Inanna.
So Inanna is, in mythology at least, she's slightly more controversial. She was, I don't know, we know of her about 2500 year BC, also Sumer, Assyria. She was a goddess of all, but she just becomes slightly, at least in mythology, slightly less holistic. So it means she's a goddess of wisdom, she's goddess of war. She also was the goddess who stole the magic from someone else, you know, the magic of, and to create culture. So there's some kind of almost mischievous element, at least in the stories, to her. And she went to the underworld because she was strict to go underworld, and she was told that, you know, she would be safe there. Just she went for some god's funeral, but once she went to the underworld, she lost all her power. She was stripped of her power. She had to face her shadow, and again, through trickery and magic, and help from other beings, she returned to the surface, but she sacrificed her lover. So in this way, because he usurped the power that was hers when she was in the underworld. So now she is still the queen, she's still the goddess, but her lover has to go for 6 months into the underworld, so to speak, as a price that he has to pay for the betrayal and also for her redemption from the underworld. So it is, and it's also a very sensual goddess. So there are beautiful poems written by her priestess about the sensual love that she enjoyed, and what I call sexual alchemy with her lover Dumuzio. So that's the story. Now I wonder what her readings are.
It's so fascinating. You know, actually, when we read some of the people, I had chills like a couple of times. And as you're speaking, it's like it's so on point, like what we're about to share. It's unbelievable.
Oh, wow.
Yes. It's so on point if we're open to make the necessary adjustments in order for the frequencies which represent the way the being, in this case, Inanna, processed the information that she perceived, right? So, and then if we start from that point of view, then it is easier to incorporate that into the story that you just shared with us, right?
Okay, yes.
So now, Inanna, holistic goddess of resurrection, that's what we wrote here.
Yes.
Incarnated at the frequency of 400, which is the level of analysis, right?
Very intellectual.
Intellectual, yes. And was born at the same frequency, 400 as well. Her overall frequency was 400, yes, so very consistent. Now, she viewed the aspect of health through the lens of 400 as well. Finances, 200. That is the level of heroism, you know, the bridge from when one has just passed or transcended the victimization range of degrees, or gone from the force end of the spectrum over the power end of the spectrum, right? When it comes to creativity, 400.
So mind.
Yes, created, very, very analytical mind. Relationships, 400. Personal growth, 400. Philanthropy, 200. Intuition, 400. And with an intuition, we have clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance, and claircognizance at 400, all of them.
So she's like a very analytical being.
Yes. And when now about the intelligence aspect, we have IQ, 250. Yes, that is the objectivity.
Yeah.
Yes. EQ, 200. SQ, 400. And AQ, the adversity quotient, 200. Now, we go into percentages from 1 up to 100%, right? In the joy, as of how much Inanna was enjoying the role that she played in this reality, was a 100%. So she was having fun with her role. In the ego, how much she paid attention to information, to thought, right? And I was 100%, which it makes total sense because she incarnated at 400, was born at 400, and her overall frequency was 400, so very analytical mind, right?
And the ego frequency we measured a while ago, that's 400.
Oh, wow.
100% in that.
Exactly, because it's linked to the intellect, right? And 80% of that 100% in the ego represents the superior version of the ego, in her case, yes? Now, in the now, how much time she spent in the now, in the present moment? 51%. Integrity, how loyal and faithful Inanna was to her truth, 69%. And was 100% to self, and integrity to others was 54%.
So that's very much in alignment with what you shared, actually.
Yes, I just actually, it confirms what I felt completely.
Exactly.
So, and because I said, that's why I said at the beginning a little bit mischievous, and I'm not surprised at this analytical intellectual element with her, because she was using magic, higher magic, but she was using magic, and she definitely enjoyed her role. She really loved being the goddess, right? So
yes,
but slightly lower on the scale than Nimna, right? It's just I felt
Totally
it.
different.
Yes, definitely, totally different.
Yeah.
When it comes to self-awareness, 91%, clarity, 97%. So she was very clear about her vision of her overall perspective of life and the path she was on. Alignment with divine purpose was 80%. And this could have been impacted by when you share the story that she somehow, you said that she was convinced that she needed to go underground and
in the underworld,
the underworld, right?
Yes.
That was definitely, based on the numbers, against to what her divine role was, right?
That's right.
Alignment with personal purpose was 100%. Compassion, 50%. So
Maria, she sacrificed her lover, right?
Exactly,
there you go.
Exactly. Yes.
This is fantastic. I love these confirmations.
And when we have someone that has 100% in the ego and 80% in the superior version of the ego, with low numbers in compassion, like in her case is at 50%, more often than not, that being has narcissistic tendencies, if it's not a full-blown narcissist. Empathy, 72%. Energy purity, 82%. This is how much she was embodying the 400 frequency. And when it comes to dimensions, we measured and there's 0% under the fifth dimension. So she was between the third and fourth, yes.
Oh, that's very interesting. Thank you for this. And again, it confirms my feeling or intuition or my research about her, because Nimna is almost like a divine being, but Inanna felt like she was more embodied in the earthly dimension, right? And she loved her role, like she was like full-on goddess of this narcissism, right? But she really loved the part of being a goddess more than maybe doing the good. When Nimna came incarnated to give us knowledge or wisdom, which is bigger than knowledge, right? To give us gift of life and a gift of evolution. When Inanna felt like, I'm 100% goddess and I'm going to enjoy my part, kind of thing. So this actually completely confirms. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Fantastic. Yeah.